Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to my Chanel, and welcome to another episode of Extreme Makeover, one of the most bizarre plastic surgery makeover reality TV shows that we actually do here on the Chanel, although, weirdly enough, it doesn't actually seem to be the worst, despite the very nature of the name of the show, and also the fact that there's actually kind of a couple of scandals around the show, which I may go into at some point in the future. Keep your eyes peeled for that, my loves.
Quite the scandal, actually.
In the last episode of Extreme Makeover, I actually managed to find a YouTube channel that had a selection of Extreme Makeover videos. They're not full episodes, but they do follow someone's life throughout an episode. They've taken down basically like an hour-long episode and into like 10 minutes of all the best bits. So in a way, my editing is already done for me, my loves.
Period up, period up.
If you haven't seen the last episode of this, we actually followed a man get facial masculinization surgery, basically. Click the card up here if you want to watch that, my loves. Weirdly enough, the last video I did in this series kind of got a few comments that I was a bit confused about. So I made a comment about the type of noses that I find attractive on men. Now, I've said multiple times in my videos that my personal preference is my personal preference. Your personal preference is yours. I'm not saying that one is right and one is wrong. It's just preference. And I actually also made a point to share the type of noses that I like on men because my boyfriend sometimes watches these videos and I want him to kind of feel a bit included, you know? So, my loves, one of the top comments on the last episode was by Dylan Stasak, and they say, "Thank you so much for commenting on broken noses on men. I broke mine when I was 17 and I developed an enormous insecurity about it. I finally went in for a surgical consult this year and the surgeon talked me into doing filler instead, and I'm so glad that he did. Even if my nose doesn't look quite as sculpted and flawless as my brain irrationally thinks it should, the subtle improvements make me feel so much more confident, and your comments in this video were really affirming that I made the right choice." Well, thank you, my lovely. Firstly, thank you so much for commenting. It's actually really important for us to share these stories so that everyone knows that there's a multiple range of options available for people. You don't always necessarily need to go under the knife. I kind of feel like the same with any of these other methods of enhancement that we talk about, beauty enhancement that is. I feel like they're all tools to achieve an outcome, and the outcome should generally be happiness or contentness with the journey of your personal development, whatever it is that it looks like for you. So yes, surgery isn't necessarily always for everyone. Sometimes you can actually do what you want to do with filler, and sometimes it actually might produce more of a result that you're happy with. If it was at all possible for me to have not done facial feminization surgery under the knife, but actually do it with injectables, I would have easily done that. Unfortunately, I don't think injecting something to dissolve bone would be a good idea.
Good heavens.
Are you ready to watch another episode of Extreme Makeover? Get your beverage at the ready. Oh, that one's empty. Oh, clocked at the pageant. How many have I got on the go? I need my hanger. My hanger are in, and let's watch this transformation. Extreme.
Crime scene investigations aren't pretty, and real-life CSI detectives don't feel very pretty
I've got
either.
a single female.
There's no time to put on any makeup.
Like investigator Peggy Rowlett. Wheat Bridge.
Oh my god, is she a CSI investigator? That's, wow. We have never in any of these episodes that we've ever watched about plastic surgery met someone that does like crime scene investigation. This, ironically, was something that I actually really wanted to get into a long time ago in my career. I would have loved to have been a crime scene photographer. Can you imagine? How wild is that? We would never have had this one, girls. All right, so Peggy is a crime scene investigator, not enough time to put on makeup. So what does she need? A brow lift.
I see the people at crime scenes that are deceased, and I look at myself and I think, oh my God, some of these people look better than I do. I look dead.
What? What? That has, I can't imagine a crime scene person actually just being like, just freely sharing that information. Sorry, I know earlier I said it's kind of like the nicest Extreme Makeover. Well, the worst part about all of these shows seems to be the narrator. I feel like that actually is a little bit of a shocking producer moment there. Be like, do you feel like you look dead? Yes, I look dead. That's a bit much, isn't it?
The stress of almost 20 years of police work.
20 years.
Visibly etched on Detective Rowlett's face.
It must be a stressful
job.
job.
You would have to not be human for this job, not to take a toll on you mentally and physically. I'd really like to have all of this excess skin over my eyes taken off. Because my eyes aren't very deep set and I don't have a lot of eyebrow, my eyes just droop and look closed all the time. I don't look very bright-eyed. And
Isn't that interesting that she says something like that? Because I actually feel that because my eyes are so deep set, you can't actually really see a lot of my eyelid space. And it actually makes makeup on me a little bit harder to do, because I feel like if I was like snatched up and back like this, you'd see so much more going on. But I don't know if I actually want to have that level of surgery done to my eyes. So I can understand someone having discomfort with their eyes and wanting to effectively change the framing of the eye, shall I say. I can totally understand that, especially when it comes to underneath here. I've had very recently some filler put underneath here because I have quite deep set eyes. You can really see all the like divots and contours of my eyeballs. So I totally sympathize with Peggy here. It's just so strange, isn't it? We all want what we don't have, and quite often other people have what we want and we want what they've got, but we can't just switch body parts, can we? It would be the end of trans surgeries if that was possible.
And now I've got these lines that come down on either side of my cheek, and my left eye droops. I really looked in the mirror and felt unattractive to my husband, and it affected my sexuality. I'm convinced he's not coming back. Let's go. Come on.
Oh my God.
I've just reached that place where it's...
So because these episodes are edited in such a way that we don't get to watch like the whole episode, we kind of only get snippets of their story here. I'm kind of imagining that maybe her and her husband have had... Oh, stop it, girls. I kind of imagine that they've had maybe a disagreement about something and he's gone out of the picture or out of the equation, and she's wondering if he's going to come back after she gets all this surgery. I will say this is very much a product of its time, because these people... Actually, when was this one made? Peggy Extreme Makeover. Let's see. Peggy CSI Extreme Makeover. When was this episode? Peggy CSI Extreme Makeover. This episode went live on September 25th, 2003. That's nearly 20 years ago. So I do kind of feel like in the zeitgeist of that time, I feel like a woman's value in a marriage at this time, maybe not all the time, but definitely in like the media world, and what media and film and TV would have you believe is that like a woman's value in a marriage is directly correlated with how good she looks. I'm not saying I agree, but I think that gives context as to why Peggy might be saying, oh, when I get this surgery, my husband might come back. Do you see what I mean? I don't agree with it, but it's definitely a thought process that happened at the time.
Bottoms up and the double laps.
Peggy thinks her fellow cops are planning her 20th anniversary party.
Well, I'm not doing anything.
Well, actually, you are Peggy. You've been selected for Extreme Makeover.
Oh!
This is a setup here. You set me up.
Isn't that in stark contrast to like What Not to Wear UK, where they go, you're coming at £2,000 for a new daytime tweed. And they're always a bit like, yay. I feel like the reaction to Extreme Makeover is always like overwhelming joy, because suddenly all the problems in their life are going to be fixed. And I've said this a few times recently on my channel. Plastic surgery is a tool towards self-improvement, not necessarily a silver bullet. So while I understand the happiness, I also think around this time, Extreme Makeover plastic surgery TV shows carried such a mammoth amount of power in the zeitgeist of how the average woman could look if they, managed to win the lottery to go on this show and become a movie star, because that's kind of what it's leaning towards. It's very much in the similar sort of vein or idea as like going on X Factor and becoming a celebrity, or going on Britain's Got Talent and then having a career. Like it's these kind of like competition reality TV shows that lead to something else, that something else being like, I'm going to be a star and famous and beautiful. And I feel like that is where the predatory aspect of this show comes from. It comes from the idea of like, come onto our show and we'll change your life. Whereas there should also be some level of like aftercare, and in these plastic surgery shows, there isn't a lot of aftercare. Oh, she's so happy. Set me up, girls. You're gonna have 17 brow lifts.
I'm just stunned.
Aww.
And that's all she could say.
Officer
Why?
Dr. John Perlman.
Peggy,
Oh, Dr. John Perlman is back. He's very...
Dr. John.
Have you ever seen a more Beverly Hills looking man who's a surgeon? These videos are on John Perlman MD's YouTube channel.
Perlman.
Peggy, please.
Peggy, John.
Peggy.
As plastic surgeons, we're not just operating on movie stars. Most of us are operating on normal, everyday people.
Yes. I mean, There's only, what, like 2,000 movie stars in the world? How can your clientele just all be movie stars? It's kind of strange that people sort of forget that normal people get plastic surgery all the time. Normal people.
Normal little peasant people get plastic surgery, girls.
Can I help you today?
Well, I've got just a lot of skin that hangs down on my eyelashes. Great big dark circles under my eyes and puffy, and I've had those all my life.
So that's a contour, not aging.
I don't feel like I have much of an upper lip. And I'm not looking for big, full, pouty lip. And what I really want to do is
17 liters of filler
in my face.
But I'd like to have you consider raising your brows.
A brow lift.
The prophecy is true.
That is irregular along the top of your hairline, then it goes into your hair. We'll remove some of the muscles here that'll decrease the frowning and furrowing here. Some skin removal and fat removal.
What? I have never heard of removing the muscle here to prevent frowning. Do you know, I have had Botox here to try and like defeat these frown lines that I have, but I spend 90% of my day frowning. I am such a frowny person. Even when I'm like happy, I'm still like, you'll see it from my videos. When I'm just casually watching something, I'll be like, and I look really judgmental and resting bitch face, but it's not. I'm just a frowner. I love it. I actually found that when I had Botox here, it changed the way my eyebrows moved to such a point that I didn't actually like it. So I think I'm going to let these wrinkles develop over time. I might get a little bit of filler to pump them in, but I definitely do want that full range of movement. So it's kind of interesting that he's just suggested a full-on like hairline in here, brow lift, where they go in and then just like yank it up like this. Because nowadays I feel like what we would do is like a lateral brow lift, something like this, and then maybe more of like a blepharoplasty to get rid of the excess skin here. That's what I think we would do nowadays. I'm not a plastic surgeon. I'm just simply talking about different surgeries that I've seen on this YouTube. How many other trans women have you seen that on YouTube that literally all they do is watch plastic surgery all day long?
From your upper eyelids, some fat removal from your lower lids.
Is that going to be a direct fat removal?
Your cheeks.
Raise your cheeks.
Lift your face.
A facelift?
Peggy will get a brow lift.
Oh God,
a
spinning.
face and neck lift.
A brow lift.
Lower eye lift. Fat injections and a new chin. As a southern...
That was so swift. That was like, oh, she's gonna get this girl spinning towards freedom. She's had a brow lift. That was a lot, wasn't it? That could have given Rhinoplasty a run for its money on the speed of that.
California day begins. The dawn of an amazing transformation.
Oh,
good morning,
is this a police helicopter?
How are you feeling?
Oh, because CSI.
Did you get some sleep last night?
No? Did you?
Yes, I did actually. I slept very well.
I'm glad to hear that.
Now, can you tighten your neck muscles for me?
Most of Detective Rowlett's colleagues think she is on a vacation before her 20th anniversary party.
This should be a very interesting work time experience. They have no idea. There's a couple of them there that
looks
know
like
what's
a
going
lot
on,
of
but
plastic
most
surgery.
of them do not.
Close your eyes.
She's gonna have quite a healing section here, I think. We haven't actually seen him talk about like healing or how long this process might take or what potential complications can come for it. So with facelifts and anything done in the hairline up here and anything kind of done down here, you're going to get numbness. That is absolutely something that you're going to get. So I haven't shared a lot of this information recently, but my chin is still a little bit numb. Not a lot, but a little bit numb. This tooth here, this one, completely numb still from my chin surgery that I had done in my facial feminization surgery in May. I still also have unusual sensation up here in my hairline, and that is because the nerves are still rehealing. So it feels like when I'm touching here, it's kind of triggering up here somewhere, like around here. So it's a very interesting feeling, but we didn't hear him explain any of that. And it's gonna go over time. It's just that, you know, informed consent.
I think that a lot of people...
Oh, not the free feet pictures.
I chose to do something
Wiki
like
feet.
this because this is fairly out of character for me, but I'm not nervous about it. Let's get on with it.
Do you know what? So I was talking to a plastic surgeon. I'm not going to name who they are. We were having just a casual conversation about people and plastic surgery. And I was genuinely quite surprised to hear that a lot of people that go in for plastic surgery have never done any like skincare or care for their face in their life. They've done absolutely, they have no routines, no skincare routine, no moisturizing routine, no like SPF, none of that, no, nothing. They've never been to a facial spa or anything, yet they're gonna go for the most extreme plastic surgery in one hit, like a facelift, a brow lift, an eye bag reduction. They just go from like 0 to 100 in one go. I was just really shocked to hear that like a lot of the candidates for plastic surgery don't actually have like a foundation of like skincare knowledge or skincare understanding of like what their skin type type E veneers and how they heal. I just found that really surprising. I was genuinely quite shocked because you just assume that someone who's going to invest this much money in plastic surgery would want the upkeep to be like maintained. And you kind of can only really do that when you have good routines based around your skin. No? I don't know. It was just a really interesting thing, an interesting conversation I had.
I think we are done.
Dead.
One last look.
Oh my God.
The swan goes!
Cute.
I have to say goodbye to my face at 48 years.
48, yes. Oh, what's with the slow motion? Oh, God.
Dr. Perlman's challenge
My face is tingling.
to give Peggy Rowlett
It's got a bunch of veneers.
the face of her dreams.
These fat cells have been permanently removed, and the body doesn't create new fat cells unless one is over 100 pounds overweight. Do you think we're up to 50 cc's yet?
This is Peggy's wish list.
Harvest the fat.
Each desire, Perlman's command.
Right now, I'm making the pocket to place her chin implant.
Oh, she's having a chin implant.
I'm very content with that. I'm
Chin
beginning
augmentation.
to elevate her forehead to enable me to raise her brows.
Right.
It's a nice feminine look.
Oh.
So I'm taking tiny droplets of fat and depositing it.
This full brow lift, like, situation is actually really dramatic. It's like a lot of, like... It's like a lot to do, like, to remove this section up here and just, like... That's a lot of work. How? I've never really considered that.
To little micro tunnels with this special cannula to balloon the skin of her upper eyelids, and then we will make incisions and remove.
Every time I see liposuction, every single time, I'm always genuinely shocked at just how, like, quickly go, pump her up, pump, that it is. It's always a bit like, what's gonna happen next? It just looks like such a violent surgery. Weirdly enough, this is something that I've actually kind of considered in my life, a little bit of lipo. I know, right? Oh, I started with one surgery, it's gonna be 7 more, girls.
No.
Some of this extra skin, a little bit of muscle, and
Pumping
some
up the
fat.
eyelids.
We used Hemocure fibrin glue to reattach her skin surfaces to her cheek and neck. It decreases the swelling and bruising that our patients get after having a facelift. That really looks good.
Wow,
After
so you
7
don't have
hours of
stitches, you have
surgery,
glue.
Peggy's wishes.
7 hours.
granted.
Surgery's
Oh.
over, sweetheart. You did very,
Oh, she is
very
proper
well.
wrapped up.
Surgery is complete.
Oh.
You're fine. You're just fine. Relax. Let me put some ice on your lips.
Peggy is drugged, unable to see.
Your vision is blurred by the ointment.
Drugged
face
and
in
unable
pain.
to see.
She is alone in a hospital in L.A. Dr. Perlman and his staff, her only family.
What was that? That narrator there! It was kind of like she was living in a hospice or something.
She's alone in a dark place. She can't see and she's drugged.
The doctor is her only That is that. What sort of like unsolved mystery is this?
What the hell is going on with your eggs?
Put your head back.
Right,
Today,
here she is.
Dr. Perlman removes
7
Peggy's
days
stitches.
later.
It's like there was a person there now behind all that skin hanging down.
We've swiftly moved past
This was
like...
Peggy, before surgery.
Okay.
Oh, let's have a
Difference in
see.
your eyes and your brow.
Now a sneak peek
No, there's not a little difference
little
in my
sneaky
eyes. There's a
peeky.
huge difference in my eyes.
at her new
we see?
face.
It's just unbelievable.
Wow! Look at how flat that forehead is. Wow. I'm genuinely... I mean, I know that we're watching something that's like in standard definition from 2003, but even the difference between that photo and her in the mirror here is stark, isn't it? Stark contrast. I always feel like a chin implant actually does quite a lot for the face that you never really assume. I never really thought about my chin as a surgery until I spoke to my facial feminization team and they said, we're going to move your chin forwards. And I never really realized just quite how much that will affect the rest of my face. And I'm really happy with it. So it's one of these things that you never really consider until it happens, but she looks vastly different. Incredible. I mean, obviously she's still a bit swollen, still a bit puffy. You will be at 7 days, but that is incredible.
I can't get over it.
Well, I'm glad you like
I
it.
love it. Thank you so much. It is truly remarkable. I don't look anything like I used to look.
You like your new chin?
I like everything. I love
is
everything.
wild.
It's just amazing.
Oh, look at her swelling.
Detective Rowlett
Poor
has
thing.
a big surprise for everyone
Do I get to hug you again?
Oh, you bet.
Thank you.
at her
very much.
20th anniversary party.
Okay,
Fantastic.
here we go.
Dr. Perlman says goodbye to Peggy.
I have to tell you that there was probably a defining point for me in this whole process. the last time I saw you in your office before you went on vacation, and you looked at me and told me I was beautiful.
Oh.
And it was the first time I ever really believed it.
Oh, gosh, that's so nice.
And I ever really felt it.
Well, you are.
And you're the person who said it to me.
It makes me feel very special. It really does.
You are very special.
Oh my God, I'm feeling a bit emotional. Wow. It just kind of goes to show, doesn't it, that sometimes compliments can mean quite a lot. Oh my God. Oh, this episode is a little bit intense, isn't it? I'm like, what's going to happen next?
A dead body.
This was Detective Peggy Rowlett 8 weeks ago. The wear and tear of 20 years of grueling police work had taken its toll.
The wear and tear.
Tonight,
She's not a rental apartment.
Oh, her 20th anniversary
makeup,
party,
gorgeous earring bijou, and arrested.
I feel ecstatic right now.
Detective Peggy Rowlett, home for her 20th anniversary party.
I've just changed so much.
The editing is so like
to change.
True crime.
Her extreme makeover
Jeffree
is
Star's
top
house.
secret, thanks to Peggy's detective partner.
Peggy.
I'm just so excited. I can't wait to see her. I'm just bounding with energy. I feel soft and I feel pretty. And I've never felt like that in my life.
Let's see.
As you know, we're all here this evening to celebrate Peggy's 20-year career in law enforcement. What you don't know is that the woman who's about ready to walk down this staircase is going to look 20 years younger because she's had an extreme makeover.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
Peggy Rowlett.
Oh, candles on the stairs. Yes. Wow. She looks incredible. Sorry, can we just say, she looks absolutely incredible. We haven't been given like any insight into how they've styled her hair, how they've styled herself. Is she wearing fake tan at all? But like her under eyes here have completely softened. She looks immediately 20 years younger. That is incredible. This is quite possibly one of the nicest episodes we've seen of a makeover, like an extreme makeover style show. Although we haven't seen any of the negative downsides, any of the healing, any of that. It might be because it's edited out. It also might be because Extreme Makeover kind of didn't really do that. Extreme Makeover has been criticized because it doesn't show the full picture of plastic surgery. It just kind of shows you the glamorous outcomes, girl. The makeup artist has done wonderfully. I mean, I probably wouldn't have gone quite so thick on the eyeliner on her upper lid. Look at me talking about thick eyeliner.
You horrible, horrible girl.
But I love this lip colour they've picked. That is a gorgeous little soft sheen of tone that really works with her teeth and her skin tone. I love it. I can't get over the candles on the stairs. That's wild. She does look...
It wasn't until she spoke that I realized it was our Peggy. I just, wow. The job that we do, you get a unique bond. Usually we're gathering for something that's pretty traumatic.
Yeah, I can imagine.
To see something this wonderful happen to somebody that's so dear to all of us was really an exciting and emotional event.
I want to hear her thoughts.
For Peggy Rowlett, 2 decades of police work, vanished without a trace. Here's how. She got lifts to her brow, her neck, her upper and lower eyelids, a new chin and jowl, porcelain veneers, and LASIK eye surgery.
Porcelain veneers.
From looking dead to a living
They love a
doll.
morph.
You know, I've thought for many weeks how I would thank you. How could I possibly thank Dr. Perlman? Thank you.
She does look so much more youthful and refreshed. Do you know what? I would have loved there to have seen her without makeup on. I know that's kind of quite a huge ask when it comes to plastic surgery shows. We never really see them without makeup when they're fully healed because it would kind of like spoil the level of drama, the level of TV drama. But a lot of these people on this makeover shows will have sort of like 2 reveals. Oh, create storage space. Why is my computer running low on storage? I don't like that. Firstly, I just want to actually say this seemed like a really successful makeover. And I say seemed like because we didn't get to see the entire episode. We didn't get to see any particular struggles that Peggy may have been having with the whole experience, full stop. I feel like Extreme Makeover does this quite often. It might just be the way that this specific section is edited, because this is clearly John Perlman using it for his own YouTube channel as kind of like a what do you call it? Oh no, what do you call it? I was going to say like a reel, like a talent reel. You know, when they're like, this is my work, everybody look. It's very that. So it might be edited just for that, to kind of showcase his like best work and be like,
come to me, I'm a plastic surgeon. I've worked on Extreme Makeover, girls.
I don't know what that voice was, but I hope you get what I'm kind of talking about. So Extreme Makeover kind of glosses over the healing and potentially the mental anguish that comes with healing from plastic surgery, because it is a lot of work. Peggy here had 7 hours worth of work done, which is kind of like facial feminization level of work, realistically. It takes a long time to heal from that much work, and it also, you go through some mental challenges, shall we say. The amount of anesthetic that you've had, you might feel nauseous, definitely gonna have a mental health slump afterwards, and none of that was really shown in this. Well, my loves, let me know about what you think about what we've seen today with Peggy's transformation in the comments box below, because I kind of feel like this was one of the nicer ones we've seen. She seemed really uplifted at the end. Did we meet her husband at any point in this show? I don't know, that felt very glossed over and speeded past. It's difficult to give like a full commentary reaction, and I wish that we could watch these in their full glory, so to speak, but Extreme Makeover Plastic Surgery Edition is not seen anywhere. This is the only place I've been able to find any. If any of you guys out there are able to find any other episodes that I haven't already reacted to before, please send them to me. I'm gagging to watch more of this show. And you know what, my loves? With that, it's time for the Patreons. You can see yourselves scrolling past on the screen right here, my loves. Yes, you can. I am currently taking a little bit of a break from Twitch, but if you would like to go over there and follow me so that when I make my triumphant return, I will have more followers. That'd be lovely if you could join me over there. It is Luxeria Plays, and I generally stream twice a week, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, if I've got the extra time, my loves. Once again, I want to say a massive thank you to my top tier Patreons: Aloria, Laura Ali, Luke Peterson, Stefutek, Orkos Emoji, Beebles32, Camille Sarah, Shell Herman, Christy Crownover, Christina Kyle, ContraPoints, Danielle, Danny Smith, Dr. A, Elizabeth Stone, Eric Castillo, Jen Martin, Jenabeth Herman, Jenny Hendricks, Laura Jane again, Les Banana, Min TM, Moriah Sherman, Nixie Tricks, Paolo Rivero, Rachel's the Sea Biscuit, Ryan Vita, Sexy Texy RN, Slampire Queen, Traverful Tromo, and Victoria Corella. And you know what, my loves? I'm going to leave it on the note of not every single procedure you can potentially have to go on a journey of self-improvement is necessarily surgical. Sometimes there are cosmetic options. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Yes.